Hey, welcome everyone to this episode of not quite the Midweek Howl, but we're going to try to make it entertaining and funny for you anyway. So remember, all of our new listeners, this is the non-paranormal part of the From the Shadows podcast. Although I think we may have some paranormal things to talk about in this episode. So the Howler is off again this week, but I dug around, searched high and low, and I found a very interesting guest to bring on the show. We're going to talk some paranormal stuff. We're going to talk about her career in Nashville and in slash Hollywood, I guess we could call it. So, the jack of all trades, I guess I could call you, right?
Mm.
Jack of all trades.
Hmm.
Although
Yeah.
that, although you won't get credit for that on any of your projects as
Nope.
being the jack of all
Absolutely
trades. But joining me is the lovely, wonderful, and super talented Madison Braun.
not.
Thank,
Thank you.
thank
What
you.
an
What an
intro.
intro. Do you want me to have Phil cut that out and then you can just send that with your resume to every job?
Yeah. Yeah. And then maybe I'll get that jack of all trades credit.
Get that check of all trades. So, so I'm going to just explain to everybody. So Madison was introduced to me by our social media queen, Nita.
hmm
Um, we have a connection. Your father
hmm
is an entertainment lawyer, right?
Yep. Yep. And he had a client that Nita knows or
That you,
knew. He's now passed away, but
yes, yes. So people familiar with my history, her dad represented or maybe tried to help our good
hmm
buddy Nolan Neal.
yeah, I
Nolan,
think
as
both.
everybody, yeah, as Nolan, as longtime listeners know,
hmm
helped write the theme song for the podcast, actually.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. And we wrote the theme song and he uh sang the song in the Escape from Death Block 13 movie
Oh, wow.
over the
I
end
didn't
credit.
know that.
Well, there you go. There
Wow.
you go.
Nolan
Yes.
was a super talented dude, so it doesn't surprise me at all. Like he was so talented.
Yes, Nolan was super talented. It was crazy how he me and my buddy David Wade, who I do music and do a lot of production stuff with,
hmm
have often many times said Nolan was the most talented guy we ever worked with in any capacity. He just was
Yeah,
he was kind of a mad genius. Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Like
and
savant energy, like so much for him to deal with too, which
yes.
I think is inevitably what ended up happening. It's like it was just he was so good at everything he did, but didn't know how to like hone that in.
Hmm. And I have a kind of a paranormal story about Nolan that I could start the
Ooh, I
show
want
with.
to hear. Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever shared it on the podcast, but
Uh-huh.
so the night Nolan passed away, it was during our county fair. All right.
Mhm.
And at that time, my stepdaughter was showing horses.
Okay.
Like we kind of talked about, so she was
Yeah.
showing horses. So it was the Monday night, I think the first day of the fair, and I didn't spend the night at the fair. Rest of my family did, and
Great.
I was kind of home, falling asleep, and people started texting me. People from this area, oh my God, did you hear about Nolan? Because we had brought Nolan back here a couple times and he had
Right.
sang locally
Mhm.
and did a couple shows. So of course, devastating news. Um,
Mhm.
it was kind of a rough night just considering it. So the next morning, I had to do the PA announcing for the horse show,
Mm.
for the horse show. Okay. So I'm up
Oh, wow.
30
Yeah.
feet in the air in the press box and
Yeah.
I'm sitting there and I'm talking to the young girl that's beside me, whose parents I went to school with. And we were talking about Nolan passing away and how
Mhm.
she had heard it and if I knew what had happened or whatever. And I said, no, and next thing you know, as I'm sitting there, and like I said, we're 30 feet up in the air, we're out in the middle of
Yeah.
this big field, wherever and there's a butterfly that just
Oh,
starts flying in front of my face.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God.
And it stayed there for probably an hour. Just
That's
fly,
wild.
just
Yeah.
flying. Now, for people who don't know, he wrote a song that got performed on, I think it was America's Got Talent, called "Send Me a Butterfly,"
Mm-hmm.
that he wrote with another well-known songwriter. That
Mm-hmm.
then became a kind of a viral hit for a while he was on that show. And I sat there and I looked at the girl and I said, "Do you see that butterfly?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I go, I tied it in with what Nolan, and she's like got chills or whatever. And I
Yeah.
said, "Why is this butterfly here?" And she goes, "I have no idea. There's no flower. Like we're 30
Right.
feet up in
Right.
the air." And
Not a normal place.
no. And so I, then after a little while, it fluttered off. And
Oh,
so on my way home,
yeah.
I got a hold of Nita. And I told her, I said, "You're never going to believe this." And Nita goes, because there was a lot of anger around,
Yeah.
no,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
around it. And she's like, "That's just that SOB stopping on his way out of town to tell everybody."
Y'all
So
up in your way.
yeah. So it was, I mean, it just gave me chills
Yeah.
just talking about that because
Yeah.
but it's cool that Nolan is still kind of connecting dots, as Nita would say.
Totally.
All
Yeah.
the
I feel like Nolan's going to be around for a while. Like, he's a topic of conversation, and he's someone that a lot of people met through him.
Mhm.
And so there's just so many Nolan connections around town that I feel like he'll be talked about for a while.
Yes, yes, which is good. I hope everybody remembers the
Yeah.
good stuff, the good stuff. So,
Totally. Yeah.
so oh my gosh. So let's talk about you, Madison. So that's how we got connected.
Yes.
Tell everybody is why I called you the jack of all trades. Like, what is it that you do in the music and movie and everything business?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm a production designer. Sometimes my title changes to art director or set decorator. Prop stylist is another one that's common. So it could be anything from a photo shoot, music video, commercial is a lot of my time, and narrative film. So I design pretty much anything you see in front of the camera. So if you give me an empty room, I put the couches in it, I paint the walls, I put the coffee tables, I hang everything, I hang curtains and blinds and whatever you can imagine. We come up with the color palette for the film. We usually work directly with the director of photography and the director to make that vision come to life. So I mean, I could be dealing with sourcing a mechanical bull for a country music video one week,
Mhm.
and then I could be building a 5 foot load bearing skull mound for a music video the next week. Both things I've had to do.
A 5 foot tall skull mound.
Yeah, load
That
bearing.
load
Yeah.
bear- that'd be fantastic, I think.
Yep.
Where is that thing now?
That has since been taken apart. It took my sister and I about a 6 months to a year to fully emotionally release ourselves from it. She helped me build it, and it was for a David Kushner music video called Skin and Bones. And
Okay.
it turned out great. It took up a lot of space, and we have since dismantled and donated the skulls to a little donation place in Nashville called Turnip Green. You can, like, artists go there and get like paint supplies and paintbrushes and things, and you can donate weird stuff. So we did it around Halloween time.
I was hoping
We
you didn't.
thought,
I was hoping you didn't say you donated the skulls to some junior high school for art
no,
class. Although
no.
that'd been cool.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen what they made from it, but we did it around. We shot that in like January one year, and then donated it in October. So that shows a little bit of the timeline of how long it took us to detach ourselves from it. But yeah, so it could be anything, or I mean, I could do a job where it's just pillows and blankets for a couch. Like, I am literally, I just sourced a wheelchair from the 60s, and
Really?
it's my warehouse now. Yep. So it's just like, it could literally be anything, and I think that's why I like my job, because I never know going into a call with the director what the crazy ask is going to be. And there's always at least one, like they're always like,
Mm-hmm.
we're doing normal. This just happened the other day. We're doing normal country music video stuff. They're going to go fishing. They're going to go pet some horses. But we really would like to have some real fish there. Not alive, but just like some real fish for him to like hold up and like put in front of his face and be silly, or like put on the fishing line. So I had to get real fish. They were dead, but they were slimy. And I had
and ones that fit the location at where you're
totally.
at.
Well,
Like,
actually, this was like comedy, so he wanted it to be
oh, okay.
not what you would find there. So that was interesting too, because then it was like, what fish? Then I do actually have to do the research and find a fish that can't be located in a pond in Franklin. So
Yes.
yeah, it could literally be anything. We're constantly making new things, sourcing new things. And the crazier it is, honestly, for me, the more fun it is. So
Well,
yeah,
the reason, as I started digging into your background and the stuff that you do, I mean, a lot of our listeners, especially to the Wednesday part of the show, they know the stuff that I've done in music and movies and all that different nonsense that we do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really interesting that, being like a production designer, art decorator, set decorator, whatever you want to, whatever your label is for that given project, is I don't think that people realize how important of a job that is. In that I mean, when you sit and watch something,
Mm-hmm.
that the background, people I
Yep.
think take it for granted. They don't understand the
Yeah.
tone and the mood and
Right.
what it helps purvey,
Totally.
So how did you, I mean, did you set out to be like, I want to
Not at all.
set coffee mugs in the background right
No.
there and there?
No.
How did
Well,
you
and I
get,
think,
how'd you get started?
yeah, to your point, it's like, I mean, the better you are at being a set designer, the least, or like the less obvious it is that it was done. So like essentially you want it to look like this is a place that they walked into and it's comfortable, it makes sense. So it seems as though that place already existed. So
Yes.
the art department is generally very underappreciated, but not intentionally. It's just because people don't know about it. And so in that same sense, I didn't know about the art department until I was in college. Like I went to college to be a director and a DP just like everybody else, and I did all the camera classes and the director classes and all of those things. And then it wasn't until I had a class in college with a professor named Eddie Bowen at MTSU. He's still there. He started the class with, you don't want to be in this industry. It's awful. You'll regret ever being in it. And then like half the class dropped out. And he was like, okay, now if you stayed after that, you'll be fine. And I was like, oh no, maybe I should have dropped it.
Is there something wrong with me?
I know. He's like, no, you just have to have tough skin, which is so true. But he made us do an assignment where we had to pick a department we had never been in before and knew nothing about. And so part of that assignment was you had to pick 2 different departments and like do an entire project. So do a whole video as that department and then do like a report on it or whatever. So I picked location manager and script supervisor because in my mind, those were the easiest ones. Quickly found out script supervisor is like the hardest job in the film industry. And I was immediately like, this is not for me. And then my friend had a project come up where her art director had a conflict come up last minute. So she was like, do you mind just doing this? Bowen said it'll count for your credit or whatever. So I did it. And it just so happened to be like she wanted to do a yard sale, but to the extent of, it was like you took the walls off a house and they were selling every single thing in their house. So I had to find a toilet, a shower, a bed, a bookshelf, rugs. And we're in college. We have $0. So it was a true test of, what can I MacGyver? What can I find on the side of the road? What can I thrift? How do I make this look as good as possible? And I mean, I did. I ended up with a bedroom set a toilet, a shower, like all kinds of stuff. And I had so much fun. I was like, this is crazy. I can get paid to shop with other people's money. I said, sign me up. And here we
Uh,
are 10 years later.
Usually those are called ex-wives, but I digress. Anyway,
Yep.
anyway,
I'm
so
not one of those yet, but when I am, I'll be top notch.
but I think people don't realize because there's so much content on
Right.
streaming movies, television and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
is that I think people take for granted what it takes to make anything. Okay, no matter how bad it
Oh,
is,
yeah,
it's a and
for
that
sure.
and that there's not a lot. Most times, there's not a lot of money for the
No,
stuff
never.
that is seemingly the most
Right.
important. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and when you're right, you're
Sometimes the
saying,
ones with more money are harder because they want, that sounds crazy, but
yeah,
it's true. Because
mhm,
they think like, if say you need $100,000 to make something happen and they have 25K, it's like this weird thing of having to like figure out how to make the big project for no money. But then when you have 100K and the video is 100K, they're like, well, now we want 200K worth of stuff. And you're like, oh, but we could make the video for this. It could look amazing.
yes, yeah,
There's always something.
because like when you have $0 and you make it look
Right.
like you had $10,000,
Yeah.
well then why can't you take a hundred
Right.
thousand dollars and make it look like it's two
Right.
hundred
A
thousand?
million.
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And so for people listening, your resume on music videos is pretty impressive. This isn't
Oh, thank
like
you.
people. This isn't like she's not like doing your garage band at the end of the street. Okay, she's
You do
doing
some of those too, though.
yeah, yes, those are important. But off the top of my head, Megan Maroney, Dan and Shay, Nate Smith with Hardy, which I think
Mm-hmm.
everybody knows,
And
like,
Kevin James was in that one.
and Kevin James. So for country music fans, Megan
Yeah.
Maroney. Am I right? Am I all right?
Yeah.
And now
Am I okay?
isn't that up for some awards too?
It just won a VMA, and it's also up for a CMA award. So yeah,
Whoa.
I'm very proud of that music video. So if anyone has time, they should definitely go watch it. It's
Okay,
called Am I Okay?
and it's visually very striking. Whose
Thank
decision
you.
was the blue?
So that was a Megan thing, like her whole what's the word that I'm looking for? That whole project was blue.
Okay.
And so Alexandra Gavillette is the director for that. She came from LA, and I believe I was told that she was chosen to direct it because she had a long like resume of very poppy, colorful directing. And we hit it off immediately. Like we were immediately like, girl power, we're gonna do this, it's gonna be amazing. And it really turned out so good. We had such little time to make that project happen. We built a set inside a studio and shot it, then went and shot another scene while we flipped that into another set inside the studio. Insane. Tons of floral work, which was something that was somewhat new to me, but I had a girl named Melissa who came and helped do that. She worked for a florist and she was incredible. My whole team was incredible on that, and we really pulled a lot out for a small amount of time. And I'm so proud of it, and I'm so glad it's getting like recognition from the VMAs. It's the first ever Best Country Music Video Award with the VMAs. So we made a little bit of history too.
Wow, that's cool. So how does that like I know you're going to put guest on from the shadows on your resume, but how does the winning the award
I'll add a whole new like line on my website. Podcast appearances.
but how so this award though it's got to be
Yeah.
because I could see like a reoccurring theme in
Mhm.
your list of stuff is you work with a lot of the same artists
Yeah.
over and over again, but it's different directors sometimes. So
Yeah.
happen because when people get teams,
Totally.
they really are loyal to
Yeah.
those teams because you don't have to
Right.
babysit people.
Totally.
So how did you get on projects with the same people, but they had different
Yeah.
directors?
So that's actually a really great question. And it's really interesting because a lot of times, so like Kelsey and Dan and Shay, I work with a ton through a director named Patrick Tracy. So that was all through him. The Megan videos were two different directors, same producers.
Okay. Okay.
So those producers, I imagine, sit my website along with a few other people. But I also had gotten in with Megan's team as well. Like her managers knew me from the previous video. So it just kind of depends on the style of the video, who the producers are, who the directors are. It could be a director picks you, it could be a producer picks you, it could be the artist wants you. So it just depends. But yeah, I have worked with a ton of the same people, which I love because you get to know them and there's like a camaraderie around that. So like Dan and Shay's team actually brought me on to do their album release event for their Christmas. And that was no producers, no directors. It was just Dan and Shay's team wanted me there, which felt very like
Pretty awesome.
validating and amazing. And I had so much fun with it. And it was beautiful. It was Christmas. And I do so much Christmas and I love doing Christmas. So it's just
So
depends on,
if we
but
do a Christmas movie, are you saying you're the girl we should call?
I'm in. Yeah, let me know. I've got a whole collection of Christmas stuff.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Um, the before we go on,
Yeah.
you were telling me about, and this is a direct tie into the podcast.
Yeah.
You did a music video
Sure
that
did.
included an appearance by a guy we all know on this show,
Mhm.
Bigfoot.
No one love. Yeah. It was
Bigfoot.
all centered around Bigfoot.
What's that? Describe.
Like drunk, sloppy Bigfoot. So
Okay.
I actually will never forget getting the text about it because they were like, "Hey, we have this music video and it's kind of about Bigfoot." And I was like, "Oh, I have so many questions. Like, are we in the woods? Like, what's Bigfoot doing? Is it people seeing Bigfoot or is it about Bigfoot's life? Like, there's so many different ways that this could go." But they were like, no, it's like Bigfoot has taken over this community and the neighbors are like upset with him and annoyed and they keep calling the cops and they're not doing anything. So Bigfoot lives out of a trailer in like a trailer park. It's like a car park or junkyard. And it's all these neighbors just like seeing him do crazy stuff. And then the band, Her Leather Jacket, is like playing with Sasquatch. They're like his friends. And he ends up getting arrested at the end of the video and he's in like the back of the cop car and everyone's upset. And so it's super fun. But I got to like trash an RV that he lived in and we got to like pick out jorts and like tank tops for him to wear. Oh, this is a fun little jack of all trades. I had to age underwear for Sasquatch to make it look like he was hanging it out on like the line to dry, like he'd washed them. So I had in my bathtub the night before the shoot was like coffee staining giant tidy whities
Ah,
and tank
that
top.
is fantastic. So, so the band was Her Leather Jacket, and the song is
Yeah,
Madness in My Mind.
yeah, yeah,
We will put a link to that in the description
yeah.
for everybody to go check out. I mean,
It's directed
seriously.
by Sean Dave too. I should probably say that. He's amazing, and he came up with this idea, I believe, for the crazy Bigfoot sighting in
Well,
this. Insane.
make sure you tell them that you were just on a Bigfoot
Mhm.
podcast. It's
Yes, yes.
but the other so yeah, you mentioned the Hardy, Nate Smith and
Yep,
Kevin
Kevin
James.
James.
So I mean that's close to being the number one song I think in the country right now.
Oh, really?
At least it is on
Yeah, it's a great
Sirius.
song.
On Sirius. Well, the video is fantastic.
Yeah, it's
It,
hilarious.
and I think everybody who has not watched that video
Hmm.
would it's kind of like a Animal House
Yeah,
on
it was
on a
definitely a fun one.
yeah. So what? So how? How can you go wrong with that set design?
I don't know if you can go wrong necessarily, but there were a lot of like things that we had to do because I mean, obviously, like we've talked about, like when there's a tight budget, you have one location and you have to make all those looks happen in the one location. So we had to take a very, very nice house in East Nashville and make it look like a, can I say cuss words? A
Within
S
reason.
shitty man's bachelor pad. And I didn't know until like right before the shoot that Kevin James was going to be our lead man who was like depressed because his girlfriend, everyone hated his girlfriend. So I had gotten all these little like quirky props. Like I love a coffee mug that has a weird saying on it. So the one I had for him was number one grandpa. And like I didn't know he was going to be in the shoot and he thought I was calling him old and it was a whole thing. But then we had to do like Chinese food that was like left on his shirt, so he was like eating Chinese food. But yeah, I think those jobs are honestly so much fun, like trashing apartments and stuff, because I get to, I don't know, it's a weird creative way to just like get in the minds of other people. Like I love to create a world that's so opposite of a world that I would live in. But lots of deer heads,
Yeah, I got you.
feathers,
But you get, yeah, you get to kind of step outside
Mhm.
yourself
Yeah,
and live another
totally.
life
And we
for a
get to
short
like,
period of
we
time.
always get to like insert little Easter eggs into stuff. So there was a board that was like a crime board, like
Hmm.
investigator board, and so we had a couple Easter eggs on there. They were just things that the label told us were important to him, and we have no idea what they meant, but we got to put them on there, and that's always fun because like artists will put. I mean, Taylor Swift is one. Unfortunately, I am not a huge Taylor Swift fan, but she's one that's really great about Easter eggs. But so I try to incorporate that because I know that fans love that kind of stuff. Like they love to find like a weird, oh, well, he said this in that video, which means that this is coming out this day. So I like when artists incorporate stuff like that. And we did some of that in that video. But that was fun because we got to do some like eclectic stuff with the F word and putting it on a sign. And we got to make some cool posters. But our lead girl changed the day of the shoot on that one. So we had to remake my assistant.
Because they really didn't like her. Is that what you're saying?
Well, this is crazy. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but it was like an age thing because Kevin is a little bit older than your normal like hero actor. So they had to make sure her age fit so there wasn't any kind of weird
Yes.
grooming thing,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I got you. I got. I
so they
got you.
flipped that, and my assistant Allie on set had to literally Photoshop a new poster because we had the girl's photo on all these posters in the house. So she had to make a new poster, and we had to send it to FedEx, print it, come back, and replace all the posters in the house the same day we were shooting. So crazy. But
Never a
that's the kind
dull.
of stuff that happens. Yeah, music videos are like known for that.
So,
Commercials aren't as bad about that.
so I want to. So we want to kind of weave our way into
Yeah, yeah,
into
yeah.
some of the movies that you've
Oh yeah,
done.
yeah.
Um, but do you want to tell? I know you got I know you got a little your own haunted house or your own
Oh,
ghost story. So I want to please all of our paranormal fans and tell me what your ghost story is.
well, I feel like I was telling you earlier. I have a bunch of like little things, and I feel very comfortable in the paranormal environment. So I feel like sometimes I maybe don't notice things that other people notice because to me it's just normal now, I guess.
The
So
the shadow
right,
person with the knife and the
right, yeah, it's like totally
werewolf
normal
outside. Okay, I
because
got
she
you.
just lives here. Yeah, that's my roommate. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, okay.
Um, okay, one, I talked to you about Venice, but there's another. I worked on a job since we're talking about music videos. I did a music video with Cole Swindell and Lainey Wilson at this haunted prison in Knoxville.
Okay.
You might know it. I wish I knew the name of it, but
I can't think of a name of a haunted prison, but there's probably people listening
it's
that are
like,
yelling it out right now.
yeah, it's like a well-known one, and now you can like go tour it, and people do paranormal investigating there, which is pretty cool. and they have like an area where you can like eat like food when you go there. Like it's a thing now.
Hmm.
It's not like a prison that you show up at. So we shot this music video there, and we got to like go into some of the like solitaries where they used to cram like 40 people in, and they'd put like a bucket of food and then a bucket of for the
Hmm.
bathroom. You couldn't see because it was so dark, like super scary. And the people kept telling us like it's haunted, it's haunted, it's haunted. We hadn't experienced anything. At the very end of our shoot, the PA came running around the corner, and he was like, "Oh my God." And we were like, "What?" And he was like, "I swear I turned this light off like 3 times and it's back on." And we were like, "Oh, you probably didn't actually turn it off. Like, it's fine." And then the light like turned off and turned back on. And we were like, "We gotta get out of here." And the lady said, like, she was like, "That's one of those things that just like happens all the time here." And she was like, "That was them, I guess, letting you know that they are here." Cause we kept saying, like, "It's not haunted. We didn't see anything. It's not haunted." And she was like, "No, that's them letting you know." She was like, "There's nothing wrong with the bulbs. Like, the light was totally fine. There's no like wire issue." Because, of course, we asked all those questions. We were like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?"
Be glad that's all they did.
I know. That prison has had a lot of like well-known prisoners in it, and you can like, I feel like when you're walking around you can like feel that like thickness in the air
Hmm.
of just like there's like some lingering energies here that didn't get their justice or like their final remarks or whatever. Like they're still here trying to figure it out. um so I think that stuff is really interesting and cool. I feel like you couldn't pay me to like stay there overnight though. Um, as much as I
Hmm.
would like to think you could. Um, and then in Venice we had, I was telling you, I don't know if this is like our friends just trying to mess with us or not, but they had a bunch of like old paintings of young girls, and one of the people I was with said that it was like a haunted Airbnb. So there were a couple times that we found like the door just open on its own, and there's a button really far away that you have to push, so it's not something that just like opens on its own. And then there were a couple times that one of the guys like woke up in the middle of the night and like heard some stuff, like footsteps or something. But again, I didn't hear anything. But I could just be too comfortable in this environment. But those are Italian ghosts. I feel like they probably got some crazy stuff to tell.
I
I've heard
can't. I can't
no.
even imagine. Like, because so think about that for just a second. On
Right.
that is how young America is compared to
Right.
Italy and England
Yeah.
and all that over there as far. Now, of
Right.
course, we have the Native Americans here, but
Hmm.
you wouldn't think of the Native Americans haunting a prison in
Right.
Knoxville, Tennessee. Okay,
Right.
so if you're in one building here versus a building over there, would say a ghost is haunting a Italian villa,
Right.
um, they're from the
Sounds
12,
wild.
they're like
Yeah.
from the 1300s.
Right. Like, yeah.
Would they like even know what you guys were doing? Like
Also, like,
who are these
do they
people?
even speak English? Can they even understand us? They're probably just mad we're there. They're probably
Yeah,
mad we're Americans. That's a big thing too right
but
now.
think about it. When they were alive, there was no such thing.
Right.
So
So they're just
would
so
they?
confused.
Yeah, they wouldn't even know.
We're
Holy,
like weird little Sims characters to them.
they
That's
don't even know. They don't even know what that is. You just
that's
said
true
that.
too. Yeah, they don't know. They're like what we look at Sims is what they probably are like, what is happening?
No, no. Speaking of that, you were told me you got your start in the movies,
Hmm.
or one of your earliest jobs
Yeah,
was
and
a kind of like a horror movie or like a
yeah,
scary movie.
it was like a I guess you could call it like a psychological thriller. It was about a guy who gets taken over by some kind of unknown, like I guess you could say demon. Um and they like admit him to the hospital, and he's a John Doe. And so they can't figure out who he is. So they send him to a psychiatrist. They say he has like some form of dementia, can't remember anything, but he ends up like essentially sucking like the souls out of people throughout the thing.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah. And then they have to, it's I don't want to give it all away, but like he goes around and kills a bunch of people. And
Well,
it was, a low budget horror movie. So we had a lot of fun with fake blood and all that good stuff.
it's where you kind of
Mm-hmm.
like I think on horror, especially low budget horror movies, you kind of do a lot of experimenting on
Oh yeah,
what'll work and
right. But see,
what looks good.
I think a low budget horror movie is so good, like so fun. I almost feel like horror is better when it's low budget because
Hmm.
when it's high budget, it's like a little too real. Like when it's low budget, it's like, oh, I can enjoy this because I know this is not happening to me anytime soon.
Well,
It doesn't. Yeah,
I will say, okay, like back when I'm growing up, I could not watch anything gory. Okay.
yeah,
I would
yeah.
just be like, oh my gosh, this, I can't do it. I was a big
Right.
baby, big chicken. And I just went to the premiere of Phil, our producer. They just did this movie called Wormtown.
Okay.
And in our buddy Great House did the special effects. I was not queasy at all. And I
Oh.
thought to myself, oh boy, I'm in trouble. Now I've been on so many movie
Yeah.
sets and seen this,
You're just
had my
like,
own, had been covered in
yeah,
blood myself
yeah,
and stuff that
yeah.
you get to that
You're
point where you
immune.
know it's
Yeah.
not real.
Yeah.
So
Mom said she hates watching movies with me because I just point out all the mistakes, all the not real things. There's no way to be scared in a movie with me because I'm like, that's fake blood. You can
that
tell.
that scalpel is really not piercing their skin. That's just the,
Retractable.
so what was so for all of our horror movie fans,
Hmm.
what was the name of that movie?
That one's called The Dead Center, and I was an on-set dresser for that. So I didn't production design it. A girl named Ashley Mesco did. She's also a Nashville local, but that movie's called The Dead Center. It has Shane Carruth and Jeremy Childs, and it was directed by Billy Sinise. I think it's on Amazon Prime.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, it might be included if you have a subscription too. So
Get
you can
everybody
check
go
it
watch
out.
go watch
Shot
the
in Nashville, Tennessee, right here.
that's all.
Um, yeah, so that was a fun one, and it was it's just one of those like low budget horror movies that you got to see. It's just good, like good in that way. Like it's like intimate. I don't know. It's worth a watch, but
It's worth the watch. All right, so
yeah,
everybody go check that out. But I want to talk about the last movie you just did
yeah.
because the concept is really cool
Mhm.
and there's a lot of I was looking up at some of the
Mhm.
buzz, both
Oh yeah,
positive and quote unquote negative. And once I
yep,
read like the negative stuff, I'm like, oh gosh, we gotta get a grip here. So
yeah,
tell a little bit about this movie that just because it just came out this
yeah.
summer, right?
Right. Yep. I don't think it's still in theaters right now. I think it's now where you can like rent it on Apple and stuff. But yeah, it's called Sketch. It was very much meant to be a like similar to like E.T. or Jurassic Park or some of those like earlier, I would say, intro horror movies for kids. Like E.T. was a very like
Like
it
almost
wasn't really horror.
like goosebumps and stuff. Like
Yeah,
it's
like
yeah.
you watch it and you're kind of like, ooh, this is weird and scary, and he's extraterrestrial, and like, is that real? And you're a kid and you're asking all these questions, but then it's kind of like what leads you into liking that kind of genre. But there are a lot of moms and people out there that think our movie was demonic. So if you're into demonic things, maybe our movie's perfect for you. But it's called Sketch, and it's about a little girl who is grieving the loss of her mother, and she's drawing some kind of like uh, scary for a parent to see drawings, monsters eating people, stealing all of their belongings, and she drops it into a magical pond, and they all come to life, and they have to figure out how to get them to go away. So it's a fun like grief processing movie. So there's a lot of conversations that can come after that. Like if you have kids that watch it, I've had a lot of people tell me they've had like hard conversations in a great way with their kids after it. Um, But then there's also that element of like a little scary, especially for kids, because there's monsters. But the monsters are also super cool and visually appealing because they're made out of the visual effects artist actually did a great job, but they're made out of the medium that she drew with. So if she drew it with chalk, it's a chalk monster that's you can like see her scribbles when they come to life. Or there's like
Mm.
marker monsters, crayon monsters, and there's one scene where they like melt the crayon to get it to go away, and then they like put one in the pond to get him to go away because he's like a washable marker, and so he just disintegrates in the water. So it's just really interesting, and it's kids being heroes and getting to like have their moment and getting to do the cool like adventure side of it, which I feel like you don't see that as much in movies anymore.
No, it's kind of like the Goonies sort of thing, where
Right?
everybody
Oh
liked
my
to
God,
get it.
yes.
And so what I read and what I kind of deduced from this is how would a normal child, if they were going to draw grief
Mm-hmm.
on a paper, like
Totally.
you could give that to, and I don't know how the child's mom died in the movie. I don't know that. And if how that
Yeah, it
would,
doesn't really go. Yeah, it
so
doesn't tell you in the.
but if you took 100 pieces of paper and gave them to 100 different kids and said,
Mm-hmm.
draw what you
Totally.
imagine grief to be like, some of it would be pretty scary. And
Yeah.
and what I read was the groups that, in the one group in particular of moms who thought by the they were
Yeah.
duped by the company that
Correct. Yeah, the distribution company.
by the distribution company who's known for
Yeah.
faith-based movies, is that they
Right.
didn't know it was going to be this scary and demonic. And I think they were missing the
Mm-hmm.
point. They're missing the point. is
100%. Yeah.
is and it would have been a great, and I'm not going to tell anybody how to raise their kids, okay, but
Totally.
it would have been a great time to it would have been a great teaching moment to
For
take,
sure.
especially if it's based on
Mm.
your faith, on how your faith plays a part in um handling grief, and
Right.
how you express it or whatever. And I just think
Mm-hmm.
I just got that it in this in being artists. You're an artist. I try to be an
Mm-hmm.
artist, but I think it's a dangerous line when you can't
Totally.
express yourself in that
Yep.
way. That we're not even talking about a
Mm-hmm.
political or anything. That's just a
Right.
creative
Right.
endeavor. Like, and people want to
Mm-hmm.
try to stop you from doing it.
Right.
Can't we all just get along? That's just what I want to
Yeah.
say.
I think yeah, I really like how they portray the therapist in this movie because first it's also encouraging therapy, which I think is very important for everyone. Um, but it's also the therapist not discouraging her from drawing. She's saying like
Hmm.
what could have been worse is not doing anything at all and letting it fester.
Hmm.
Like you putting it on paper is better than doing nothing at all. And then there's Tony Hale, who's incredible. He
Yes.
plays the dad, and I think he does such a great job as a parent showing the like horror that you see immediately on that page, but then also being like, okay, but let's embrace this and let's talk about it. Let's include the good with that, and just taking the emotion from the kids and expanding on it. And then also looking into himself, like in his role of just like, what am I avoiding? Like the grief that I'm avoiding trying to protect my kids.
Hmm.
So I thought it was a good learning moment and teaching moment, like you said. But it seems a lot of those parents didn't even want to watch past like the first 10 minutes. So they probably won't ever realize that,
Yeah. And
unfortunately.
and and the thing is people take their emotions, and especially if you're, it doesn't matter. Like, some people sit down and write a song. Some people will sit down and write a poem.
Right.
Some people will go
Totally.
ride their bicycle to deal with their emotions. Some people will go bake Some
Mhm.
people do some woodworking.
Yeah.
Go mow the. There's
Yeah.
different ways to.
Retail therapy.
Oh gosh, there you are back to
I call
shopping.
that my job.
Take
No, I'm
it.
kidding.
But no, I think it's cool. I think it's definitely a movie that I didn't even
Yeah.
know about until we got to talking, and I definitely
Yeah.
want to check it out because
Yeah.
I love that concept, and I mean, and you know why I love that concept because it's similar to some stuff
Right.
that I've messed around with. So I think it's cool. I can't wait to go check it out. But I
Yeah.
encourage everybody to go watch it and see for
Yeah.
yourselves. You know,
It's
see
a
for yourself.
fun little hour and a half, 90 minutes. It's not too big of a commitment. It's no Lord of the Rings. But it's a fun, I don't know, it has like a great ending. There's some comedy moments in there that I think are really nice. That kind of like offset the like darker moments maybe. But I mean, people were having issues with that too. I think in our society now there's going to be issues with anything. So I don't take much of that to heart. But I mean, that movie to me is a really good example of what we were talking about before, where it's like my job was to make that feel as real as possible. So you almost can't tell that there was an art department on it. And we started with, oh, my cat's about to join us. Sorry. We
Yeah.
started with a house that was set to be demolished. So it had nothing in it. We painted the walls, we brought in furniture, we created these kids' rooms. And then there's a moment in the movie where it all gets destroyed by the monsters. So that was a super fun, like, we put it all together, made this house lived in. So all the rooms in the house we decorated, and then we just like tore it to pieces, which was so much fun. Um, so, and that's a cool thing I think in the movie because you don't get to do that often either with movies. You don't get to practically spray a hose in a hallway of a house. Which, fun fact, said house was set to be demolished, and then after the movie, they never demolished it. They just fixed it back up and sold it to someone else. And we have connected with the owner of the house, which is so funny. But movie magic, right?
Movie magic. Well,
Yeah.
well, I want to. So I want people to be able to go and check you out. So we're going to put a link to your website
Oh,
because I hope that people have listened to this episode, become fans of you, because I
I
think it
would
would
love
be I think it'd be easy to become a fan of you, and they can go check out the stuff that you do that you're doing
Yeah.
because it's cool. It really is
Thank
cool,
you.
and
It's
I hope people learned a different side of what it takes to do movies and music. And
yeah.
um, sorry everybody that the Howler wasn't here, but
Yeah.
Madison did just fine. I hope she.
Howler who? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Howler. I'm kidding.
Don't say that. Don't say that. But
I'm just kidding.
but we'll put up a link to your website. I'm going to definitely put up a link to the Bigfoot music video so
Heck
people could
yeah.
go check that out.
Fun
And
little
I just
movie.
I just appreciate that you took the time
Yeah.
to come and talk to me. And hey, I'll thank Nolan
Yeah.
for helping connect another
Connect
dot.
us. Yeah. I
Connect.
appreciate you like taking time to listen and, you know, give me the platform to talk about my department that is the jack of all trades that not many people know about.
Nope.
I appreciate it.
I have a great appreciation for the stuff that you do. So
Thank you.
my hope is that someday we get to work on a project together.
Oh, I would love that.
How
That would
about
be
that?
so fun.
How about
I'd
that?
love it.
So thanks again, and keep killing it. Keep
Yeah,
killing
thank
and
you
good
so
and good
much.
luck at the is it so you won the CMA, good luck at the
We won the VMA.
VMA. So good
We're
luck at
up for the
this.
CMA.
Good
And
luck.
I think it might be fan voted like the VMAs. I'm not sure. So if it's fan voted, go vote. Megan Maroney, am I okay?
Oh, all right. All right. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the From the Shadows podcast. Until next time, never shy away from the darkness or what may be lurking in the shadows. We are out.